a bit of a 1v1, and I wanted to know what you thought. If we were to pit like two characters against each other in a fight, and let's just say them at their best, who would win? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You ready?
Yeah.
I got 5 of them for you here.
Let's go.
I'm going to go Rey and Sabine. Rey Skywalker and Sabine Wren.
Bro. Fam.
What do you think?
Are you kidding me?
I'm just saying. What do you
That's
think?
That's not even a fair. Rey is gonna smoke Sabine.
Okay. That was level 1.
Sabine's like, and Rey is out here like blowing up ships with lightning.
Okay. That was level 1.
Sabine's fried.
I figured.
What did you pick in that one? What did you pick?
I picked Rey as well, but I'm just saying.
I was gonna say this podcast over.
I was just trying to find like obvious ones because the rest of them I feel like are pretty good.
Okay.
We'll go level 2. Okay. Level 2 I'm gonna say is one of them I'm saving for last because I'm really interested about it. But level 2, let's say Darth Maul versus General Grievous.
Ooh, that is a good one. I feel like Grievous might get the one up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why? Just because he's got 4 lightsabers?
No, I feel like Grievous is part machine, right? So he's going to be a little more methodical, and he studies the Jedi, so he's going to be a little more like thoughtful in his fighting. Whereas like Maul is very, God, what's the word I'm looking for? He's very emotional and is very quick to act, especially in episode 1. So I feel like Grievous would use that to his advantage. Well, where did you go on that one?
I love Maul, so I picked Maul. I actually really like the character of Grievous as well. But there's something about Maul that I feel like he would have the upper hand, and maybe I'm wrong. I mean, Grievous did get defeated by Obi-Wan, and like you said, Obi-Wan also defeated Maul. So, and I think there might have been an episode in Clone Wars where they came across each other, didn't they?
That's Rebels.
Rebels? Okay.
Yeah. So that's
I don't know if they fought, but
I haven't got to that scene yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that question's already been answered then.
Oh, you mean Maul and Grievous?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know if those two.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe there is. I don't know.
It would be interesting to see. I think Maul would take it just because, like, I don't know, Grievous is a machine. I just imagine Maul, like, using the Force on him.
Dude, I've seen so many people, like, we'll dive into tier 3, but I just wanted to give you credit. I've seen so many people talk about how we want a Darth Maul live action movie. Of like other people talking about like how this needs to happen.
Yeah.
I
feel like it would be very popular. But all right, so what did you pick? Grievous there?
Yes.
Okay. Number 3 I'm gonna say is Boba Fett versus his daddy Jango Fett.
I gotta go Jango.
Okay.
Boba's. Well, no, we got the whole Boba Fett. No, yeah, I'm definitely going to go Jango. Jango's a little more of a badass, man. Boba survived the Sarlacc pit and then got raised by Tusken Raiders, but yeah, I'm gonna go Jango.
So for me, I really try to think like there was, I think it was maybe one episode in Mandalorian where Boba Fett was just a complete and utter badass, and the aggression behind him was like he was just going nuts, and I loved seeing it. And that's what I felt like was kind of missing from the Book of Boba Fett, was that aggression that he had. So for me, I was viewing it as that Boba Fett, and then I'm viewing Jango Fett, and I'm like, he died super quick. Like,
oh yeah.
He went up against like a Jedi Master, but I mean, he didn't last very long. And I'm trying to imagine
that Kenobi Jango scene is still one of my favorites of that series, where they're like fighting on the ship and he's like shooting rockets and flamethrowers at Obi-Wan.
That's what I'm saying. Like he did a good job against Obi-Wan, but when it came to Mace Windu, he really kind of just, I feel like he didn't. Did he not have his jetpack? I don't know. Like, I don't.
No, he did. Yeah, he did.
He did.
I don't know. That's a really good battle. And then it's like also which which era of Boba do you pick and which era of Jango do you
That's why I
pick,
said they're
right?
best.
Like, yeah,
Them
they're
at their
best.
best is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I feel like Boba, and granted, we don't know a lot about Jango's background, but I feel like Boba definitely might have some grit because they've had a very rough life. You see
Okay.
your dad get decapitated, and then you're forced into the life of being a bounty hunter, and then you get eaten by a Sarlacc pit.
But then think about like him fighting his dad, or vice versa, having to fight your son. It's like they have to fight to the death.
Ooh, that's true.
What's an easier thing? Like for a son to kill his father, or for a father to kill his son? Like that's a hard one too.
So where did you end up on that one?
I literally thought about this back and forth and was like having the biggest argument with myself for the longest time. Ultimately, I went with Jango.
Okay.
Because I feel like skill wise, for them to clone him, like he had to be pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
But it again, even now, I'm like second guessing myself because
Yeah.
I kept doing that. Because I feel like maybe Jango might give himself up because it's his kid. But it's like if they just had to go at it, I feel like Jango might have the upper hand.
How awesome is it that like the actor that played Jango got to come back and play older Boba?
I love that.
Yeah, like
because he's a clone.
Yeah.
Like I love that so much. And even in this most recent Ahsoka show, when it was showing the clone troopers, you hear his voice.
Mm-hmm.
Same characters, and I was like, "Oh, this is so good!" Like,
we didn't talk about it on the last episode of TunnelCast, but I totally expected when Ahsoka picked up the Mando helmet for Sabine that we were gonna hear the Mando doo-doom doo-doom like leading into like
that'd have been
like
cool.
that's where we're going the next episode is she's gonna go.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, that's a really tough one, but I think I'm with you. Jango would win.
So I was having trouble putting that one as the third step or the fourth one, but moving on to the fourth one here, I have Mace Windu versus Count Dooku.
Dooku has electricity, which is clearly a weakness of Mace Windu. Right? Dooku has Yeah.
But Mace Windu had Palpatine down. Like he had him down.
Dooku also beat Yoda.
Did he?
Yeah, because he played the Yoda's weakness of saving his friends.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when you say beat, it's like it's hard because it's like his friends weren't there, and it's just a one-on-one. Again, one-on-one. Nobody else is around. Who wins?
Yeah.
Because like even with the whole Mace Windu and Emperor Palpatine, it was because Anakin was there, and that kind of essentially stopped Mace
That's
Windu.
true. Mace Windu pretty much had Palpatine
right?
beat. Yeah.
But like you said, that's the thing I thought of too. I was like, Dooku beat Yoda, and I was like, but did he? Like he just was gonna crush Obi-Wan and Anakin. Like that's.
Do
what I'm
you
like,
remember being a young little kid going to the theater to watch Attack of the Clones, and Yoda just takes his cloak off and pulls out the lightsaber,
screaming, dude! I was screaming as a kid. I love that scene so much.
When we were talking about that scene, I was just transported back to that moment, and I was just like, "Oh my god, dude! We've never gotten a Star Wars moment like that."
Oh god, dude! Because you loved Yoda as a kid because he was that quirky, funny little old guy, but then he was super wise, and then just to see him actually in action, you were like, "Oh my gosh!"
And then he just did the "just bring it."
Yeah.
So for this one, this is another really good lineup or a good matchup. I'm gonna follow your lead on this one. I'm gonna say Mace Windu. I feel like Mace.
I feel like too.
Yeah, because he had Palpatine beat.
He did,
and he killed Jango.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mace Windu.
Last one here, and I thought this one was very, very interesting. I have Luke Skywalker versus Kylo Ren.
I know
not like them at their best. Remember,
I know this is going to offend a lot of people.
Okay,
I despise Kylo Ren more than I despise Luke Skywalker. Kylo is like a fart in a Circle K bag for me, man. Like it's just.
You don't respect anything about him, not his power, nothing.
I think he's Luke Skywalker for this generation. He's a whiny boy. Like I just see that. Like
so why do you think I took those two?
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I get it now. Yeah. But I've never felt. Well, there's one scene where he was super menacing, and it was the first scene that he was in where he
Very
like
first one.
stopped a bolt, a laser
And
bolt,
held it there.
and held it. And I was like, oh, but after that, it was just like, this is just a teenage kid. Like, I'm just like, ugh, what did Rey ever see in this guy? And then you find out he's Han Solo's son. It's like, oh God. Clearly
He's
the
product of Leia. Like,
yeah, he's got that Skywalker blood.
right.
I'm gonna go Luke. I'm definitely gonna go Luke Skywalker.
So this one, why I made it the last one is because for me, it really took a long time. Because again, I feel like it was one of those like master and apprentice things, and like Jedi Padawan things. Like he was training him to be him or better than him, and that's what we see a lot. And then of course what we always see with the Sith, it's like the apprentice always seems to try to overthrow the master. And of course with this, it was Luke trying to kill him in his sleep. But because seeing how powerful he was, and it's like you got to think if power like that scares Luke, who's kind of seen power from his dad and everything, it's like you got to be kind of afraid of the power that he potentially has. And like you said, that very first opening scene of Force Awakens, I loved Kylo Ren immediately when I saw that scene, because I was like, homie just took a blaster and just held it there for the longest time to having a conversation, and then walked away, and he wasn't even like holding it or anything. He just like with his like mind,
yeah,
and then walked away, and it happened. Like, when have we ever seen that? Even to this day.
Never.
Like, that's power.
Well, we saw it after in Kenobi.
Did we?
Didn't Vader stop shots?
Maybe.
I don't remember. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I think that was such a menacing moment, and it was like it was the first time since Vader we had a villain where I was like, oh God, this is terrifying. So
ultimately, again, I went back and forth on this one a lot, but I ultimately went Luke on this one as well. Just because I feel like we haven't seen it that much, but it takes me back to that season finale of Mandalorian where Luke was just an absolute badass against those Death Troopers that everybody had such a problem with.
Yeah.
And he just dismantled them like it was nothing. And just using the Force and crumpling them up in like a little ball. Like I was like, I'm going to go Luke.